Alright, I'm back. And I apologize for not streaming earlier in the night, but because the sun hasn't came up yet, I still think this counts as streaming during the night. Like I said I was going to do on Twitter. Anyways, let me just put that there. Go. I have streamed this game twice in the past on Twitch, but I never did upload those streams to my YouTube channel, and I regret not doing that. So, well, I kind of don't, but at the same time, the stream quality back then was not good. Well, not as good as it is now, so I guess it's for the best that I'm doing this again, only this time better. I was going to work on my Malcolm X drawing, but I just don't have it in me right now to draw anything, because I'm still on the fence about the Knuckles project. I think what I've decided to do is just leave the Knuckles project, that series of Knuckles drawings, on hiatus for now. I don't know how long, but I'm just going to put that project on hold for now, because I've just been burnt out on it, and on top of that, it's not like I'm learning anything new when it comes to drawing at this point. At least there's not really much more to refine in the process of making those drawings and paintings, so, and/or paintings. Anyways, let me go ahead and get started then. Just turn this message off. There we go. I technically should have, yeah, so Steam thankfully kept my save files, and as you can see, I played this game back in 2019, 2020, so it's been a long time since then. But anyways, I wanna make a new game, so back.
Whoa, what's it, doll? What's the big hurry?
Sorry, Elko. Tilly, I'm late. I'm really late. Oh. My apologies, ma'am.
Ah, you clumsy ox. Watch your step.
Whoa.
Late again, Tal! I haven't the time to wait around for you. You're supposed to be a soldier. Now listen up, for I'm about to change your lives forever. I'm gonna make men of you if it's the last thing I do. Now, you might be asking yourself, why did you join the army? Well, I'll tell you.
So then, Yemi, what's on the agenda today? Elko switches on his tower this afternoon, but you promised we could visit my mother today? Ooh, lucky me. I get to spend all day in a village full of old men. You must have been very bored growing up. I had a lovely time. Only boring people get bored. Really? Well, I was hoping for something a little more exciting, that's all. Perhaps a troop inspection.
Wake up, soldier! Haven't you heard a single word I've said? Today is another beautiful day to learn the art of killing. The elite guard treats an enemy's death as an art form. You will learn to cut closer and thrust without mercy. What now?
General Arlo, may I have a quick word?
This had better be good. I don't need to remind you these soldiers are on active duty.
It's just a little VIP visit. Perhaps you could rustle up a display, please?
This isn't the circus, it's the army!
It is by Her Majesty's request, General Arlo.
Is it? Then I guess I'll have to make another exception. Who is she?
Her name is Buki. It's her tribe that hold the crystal I was telling you about. Ah, Honorable Buki, we are in luck as it happens. The General here was just putting the elite guard through their paces. General?
Yes, Miss, Ibuki. Now, if you'll step this way, you can watch as we run over the basics of swordsmanship. Tal, you may begin.
Okay, so this game was originally released on the original Xbox back in the early 2000s, and of course this game was designed around gamepad, right? Xbox gamepad. I tried playing this on a gamepad, and there's nothing wrong with playing on gamepad, but because 2 of the 4 playable characters have FPS controls, it's better just to play with mouse and keyboard for the majority of the game. You can switch between the 2 if you have both plugged into your PC, but for the sake of not having to waste my time switching between the 2, I'm just going to go ahead and play on mouse and keyboard. Anyways, that's good enough.
This is the art of swordsmanship. Remember, your sword is your best friend. As you can see, Miss Buki, if you love your sword, you can keep the whole world at arm's length.
You fight well, but a Shadani warrior does not hide behind a sword. I like to see the fear in their eyes and smell the sweat on their brow.
There is no substitute for a good sword in your hand.
Slow and cumbersome, like all men.
Good riddance. Now listen up, men. Intelligence suggests the Echlorians will darken our skies again soon. Now, we don't understand their motives, but it's down to us to try and stop them from entering Illumina. Echlorians employ guerrilla tactics and show no respect for the rules of engagement. They will use every dirty trick they can, and that includes the use of light spawn creatures. These monsters take many forms, so you'd better be prepared for anything. The enemy attacks in small berserker groups, and the Queen has decreed we are to take no prisoners. Now, there's a lot of country to cover out there, so make sure you all have your own map to navigate with.
Yeah, what else would I want to say?
Tao, you better get yourself a map of the wilderness before you go on duty. And go to Kamo's shop in the northeast corner of the marketplace and pick one up. Maps are free to soldiers by order of the Queen. Sure, it's in the northeast corner of the courtyard. Follow me and I'll show you.
So this acts as this game anyways acts as a Western RPG. Heavily inspired by JRPGs of the 90s. Your Final Fantasies, your Chrono Triggers, stuff like that. Except there's no turn-based combat, thankfully. And there's 3D graphics as well.
Here we are. Maps are free to soldiers by order of the Queen.
Right, so although I have played this game twice now, I just looked up a Steam guide, apparently that's been copied and pasted from another website, of all the side quests you can complete in this game. So, and there's a lot that I've never completed in the past because, well, if you read the Steam guide yourself, it'll explain that there's a lot of items in the game that I myself as well thought that they were just junk that you can sell to this merchant called Kamo, but it turns out that they are also used in those quests, and if you don't have them, then you can't even start some of those quests.
Welcome to Kamo's. No kids, no smoking, no drinking, no touching, and no credit! Now, how may I help you?
It's cheapskates like you that make me work longer hours.
So this is where I'm at right now. That's where I'm supposed to go. And I'll eventually get to this location as well. But despite the map looking like this game takes place in an open world setting, it doesn't. It's heavily linear, just like the original Fable game. Or I should say all the Fable games, because they're all for the most part, linear. Quasi-linear? They're linear in the fact that you can't really traverse through the environment. You can only travel through set paths and corridors and hallways. There are a lot of invisible walls to prevent you from going past certain areas in the environment.
Hey, Tal, the alarm bells are ringing. There are reports of skirmishes on the road to New Brightwater. Arlo wants you to lead a patrol across country in case Princess Ailish gets caught up in the action.
Yeah, Florence is the name of the currency in this game. But there's some other items that are treated as currency.
Spare anything for a bunch of orphans? Will the gods help those that help themselves? Quick, leg it, boys!
Well, this one was easy.
Have it all back, you stink rider!
Forget about it. Have your stinking cash back.
Look, not to make fun of whoever worked on this game, but as you can tell, the voice acting is not that great. But if you check back on my Splinter Cell, the original OG first Splinter Cell game stream, the voice acting in that game is also pretty bad as well. Well, for all the non-main characters. Especially ones that aren't technically supposed to speak English. So, come on, where are you? Yeah, there's quite a lot of collectibles in this game.
You got me. I thought I was so good at hiding, too. Hey, I found a key to a hiding place where no one ever goes. You can have the key, but don't tell anyone you got it from me. You can't miss it. The door is covered in red paint.
There's the blacksmith. Yeah, so you can pretty much, yeah, you can pretty much interact with the environment like this, just checking out messages and such. Again, it's very similar to what you would do in a JRPG. Subtle hints to the game.
They call me Minnie, but I'm gonna grow up into a mean mama. I'm gonna be the first girl to join the Illumina God, just like the boys.
I'm not sure why that's the only option to pick is that, but whatever.
Flowers, fresh fish, all the way from New Brightwater. And before you ask, no, that fishy smell is not me. All our stock comes from New Brightwater, to the south of the capital. Let me tell you, in the trading game, always sell stuff out of town. Just like the fish, it's worth more the further you go.
There are no, like, overarching repercussions or consequences to whatever you say to the most characters.
We are safe in the castle, but it seems every other day there's another raid by the Aclorians out in the wilds. It's so surreal that such a beautiful land can be filled with so much tragedy.
If you want to get ripped off, go and see Kamo. He has a store in the far northeast corner of the courtyard.
Yeah, the accents are all over the place.
Fresh meat treats for all the family.
I can't afford to buy anything in that damn store. Have you been to see Kamo? His shop is the only one around. You can find it in the courtyard, just past the puppet show stall, and to the left. I can't afford...
I'm trying to talk to the lady there, but... Okay, now I can.
Hey there, my name is Ravel. I'll bet you can handle your meat. These cuts of red buffalo are fresh from the wilderness. You ever go hunting?
Nice choice of words there.
Well, you better be careful out there. Since the Aclorians appeared, there's been a massive growth in unknown monster types around here.
Completely unnecessary to talk to all these locals here, or any of the other NPCs, but it does give some nice optional information on the setting this game takes place in.
Soldiers pay.
Which is how a lot of games used to be designed back in, I won't even say the 2000s, just more so the 2000s all the way up to the early 2010s. And then for some reason we were in that era of game development where most games were just designed around telling, not showing, and gameplay took a really big hit. Well, not big hit, but gameplay was just not a priority.
For a derisory fee, I can unravel the mysteries of the universe through the medium of puppetry. It may sound far-fetched, but don't underestimate the magic of theater, eh?
I think this just plays the opening cutscene in the game. Let's try it. Yeah, this is just the opening cutscene of the game.
Of the gods and demigods created from the void, Tetsu, heir to the realm of Omnium, received a gift with which he toyed. Sudeki and all its subjects would worship him alone, yet still he longed for another god to share his celestial home. So drawn from him, his crystal skin, another child was born. Yet slicing one, though good and true, the light from dark was torn. At first the brothers celebrated and shared their world in faith, but then the dark grew powerful and love was laid to waste. The dark gave swing to the selfish twin, and he banished out his brother. Now weakening, the good twin fled in search of help from others. Of animal men, one wise and fair, his tribe they turned to flee, while human beings hid their feelings, save the heroic three. 'Twas separation brought us here. How selfish was my wish. So unity will be our new goal. We fight, the angel hissed. They fought the beast so powerful and forced him to give in. Then, as battle silenced, a rage came o'er the twin. The world was torn asunder, the subjects split in two. Unable to reach the afterlife, death drifted in the gloom. And then the magic ceased, silence took control. At age 1,000 years would pass before these kin would toil. And of the 4 who bravely fought, their fate was not to end, for time would tell to save from hell we will need these friends again. Now is the hour that my brother wakes.
Thank you, my friend, and do come again.
So the storytelling is pretty simple. It's a lot closer to the story. No, sorry. Themes and plot, or conflicts I should say, that you would see in the original Fable game. But for the most part, the game doesn't take itself too seriously. But yeah, I'm just looking around. That was one of those quests, by the way, with the orphans that I never got to, I never did in the past playthroughs because I didn't know that quest even existed.
Garrett the Dip is the name. Pleased to meet you. Don't leave your pockets unguarded. These street urchins will empty them twice as fast as you can fill them up. I used to run the streets like these kids. That's why they call me the Dip, as in pickpocket. But my thieving days are long gone. Now I have gainful employment in the market.
Kamo is an anthropomorphic duck. You can see his portrait hanging above the shop door. But don't be fooled, he is no pushover when it comes to making money.
Alright, let me go ahead and save. And I'll just make a new one.
The world seems different nowadays. There's a strange hue to the sky, and more light spawn than ever before. A florin a day, a soldier's pay.
Welcome to Coop's Tavern. We have rooms to rent and grog to sell. Well, I gave up the demon drink many moons ago, but I love running the inn, and I still like a good laugh.
Bit strange choice of music or play in a medieval fantasy setting, but alright. This was back when hip-hop was on the rise in popularity at the end of the 90s, and this is also when Oriental culture was also really popular in the States. I don't know what the term for it is, because I know weebs are people who are really into Japanese culture, but when it comes to Chinese culture, I don't know what the word for that is. But there's a lot of Oriental influence on 2000s media. Anyways, if you rent rooms, you can pretty much sleep, which heals both your health and restores your mana back to full. Yeah, this game was pretty much your average B game, and that it wasn't a indie It's not an indie game, but it definitely wasn't a AAA development team working on this. It was published by Microsoft though, so it did have enough backing behind it for it to get finished, but as we'll see as the game progresses, you'll notice that the game pretty much has been rushed to be completed. So there's a lot of stuff that's been cut, a lot of stuff that wasn't finished, and it kind of just had to, the development team behind this game had to pretty much quickly resolve matters as far as the plot goes anyways.
Leave me alone. I've got work to do.
See what I mean? It looks like you can go up the stairwell, right? Invisible wall. And there's going to be a lot of that. Oops. Forgot it's the gate all the way up there. That is one good thing about linear games, is that it's very difficult to get lost or not know where to go. So if I remember correctly, there's a switch that opens that door up here. Yeah, there's a timer. Cool.
Soldiers pay.
So there's going to be different totems that can be used. Once you have collected enough of each to unlock a weapon or item, but I've yet to collect them all, and I plan to do that this playthrough. Just complete everything as much as possible. Let me just make sure that there's nothing else to do before I leave. Let me just open up this guide. Yeah, that seems to be everything here, so we're good on that. Okay. In that case, I can safely leave without missing out on anything. It's just talking about inverter controls.
These docks used to be a hive of activity, but since the Eclorians have stepped up their activities, business has suffered.
Oh, for goodness sake, let a man fish in peace, will you?
Illumina Castle has always proved a deterrent to invaders, but I'll feel more comfortable when the crystal towers are finished, and we're all protected by the peace shield.
Men, the time has come to put your training to good use. I want every piece of Eclorian scum removed from the area before sundown.
Sir, yes, sir!
March to New Brightwater and make sure the road is secure. Tal, take charge of the 2 rookies, and we'll rendezvous in New Brightwater.
Sir.
Yeah, so I think this area gets opened up later on, but there's going to be a lot of areas like that that just don't ever, you just don't have access to it for some reason. Yeah, like this one here. Yeah, this game was also developed in a time where a lot of 3D platformers and 3D games were trying to be darker, edgier, whatever word you want to use to describe them. But they just wanted some more serious plots to distinguish them from mostly Nintendo. That's really the only reason why a lot of these early 2000s and late 90s games were made the way they were. Yeah, don't think that the rest of the game is like this, because for some reason it's not. Like, the tonal shift is almost bipolar-ish.
Arlo wants the area cleared at any cost, but he hasn't seen that monster yet.
Some foreshadowing. Yep. the melee combat's pretty clunky, which is why I normally just play the characters that use ranged attacks.
Soldier's pay. Soldier's pay.
Whoops. Okay. Apparently I did not remember that those enemies exploded. My bad. But in all seriousness though, the game is really not that difficult. Okay, now oh, never mind. Yeah, the melee combat's really clunky, and It's just a... yeah. At the time, a lot of 3D games just didn't know how to do melee combat right. And it wasn't until the late 2000s, that's when developers finally figured it out. They really make a whole wall out of coffins. If you're wondering if the combat ever gets more interesting, it actually does. I'm just not using certain moves yet because the game didn't tell me to. Let me just talk to him first.
Sir, the Eclorians have really come out in numbers this time. We did all we could, but we're too late for this guy. They brought 3 or 4 different types of troops this time. They also seem to have a giant fighting alongside them, if the reports are to be believed. That house was used as a hideout by pirates. We thought there might be treasure inside, but we can't find anything in there. Feel free to look for yourself. It's a case of finders keepers out here in the wilds. Hey, did you hear about the treasure that's supposed to be hidden in here? If there is treasure here, it must be invisible. I reckon you'd need to be a magician in order to find it.
Wink, wink. But yeah, that's just a hint that you need Ailish, another playable character, in order to find the objects hidden where the these sparkles are. I mean, besides the non-combat abilities, there's really not much of a difference between the characters. They all pretty much do the same thing. Don't necessarily fight the same way. Well, half of the characters do, and the other half fight. You'll see what I mean as the game progresses. Oops. What was the menu again? I guess it's weird. So it deals 10 more damage than the other. The critical percent chance is half. That honestly doesn't matter all that much. good. I'm gonna save it here, and I'm gonna end the stream here as well. But that's good. Bit of progress done. Anyways, yeah, that's gonna be it for this stream. I'll pick this up in the next stream, probably later today, after work, when my shift ends. We'll see then, but yeah, I'll make sure to upload these to my YouTube channel and go from there. I don't know if it doesn't make any sense to make a playlist for every single game I stream, but for RPG specifically, I think it's necessary to organize those streams into a playlist on my YouTube channel. But I'll figure it out. It's not a big deal. Anyways, let me put this on. Should really have some shortcuts to play that. I mean, turn that stuff on. But anyways, again, I'll continue this in the next stream. Again, most likely later today after work. So, till then, peace.